Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Star Wars Stuff podcast, where we talk about all things Star Wars. Let me move my mic around. My name is James,
And my name is Zach.
and yes, it's just going to be the two of us today. If you're looking for Mary, Craig, or David, you're going to be very disappointed with this episode. So I'm very sorry.
They were all too cool
But
for us tonight.
yeah, exactly. But we'll do our best to make this as entertaining as possible. But before we get started, we have some amazing people to thank, which is our patrons. We got Liam McCallion, Kevin Leininger, Devin McCaffrey, Zach Netzel, Maya Morris, Adam Haber, Front Row King, Cam from Indiana, Mariana Atia Arnold, Resk Jedi 27, Alex Blundell, Indiana Solo, BC Dumit, and Sean Smith. Thank you so much for supporting us and helping us, and we do our best to upload content for y'all
Yeah,
and
thank
just
you.
nerd out about Star Wars. Also, legionsabers.com. Use stuff at checkout to get 15% off your next lightsaber. I know you really want one. So, as cool as this one is, so this is actually the Galaxy's Edge Kenobi lightsaber,
That still looks so
which
good.
just happens to be here because
Yeah.
that's just the kind of person I am. But I will say this: the Legion Saber one looks better than this one, which is really weird. And you remember them, Zach? Like you
Oh yeah.
saw how those lightsabers looked.
Yeah.
It's weird because David handed me this one. I was like, "This is the coolest thing ever." See, it's Kenobi's, and then when I held the Legion sabers, I was like, "Oh, this is actually pretty good too." But anyways, but yeah, let's get this party started. We have some people in the house. Oh, I think we all know who this is. What are you doing? Why are you? All right. Well, I'm glad she's watching. In case y'all don't, if you're watching on YouTube, Mary is commenting on our video right now, and Adam Haber
Too
is
funny.
here. At Adam, Adam had a great joke yesterday about David,
Oh my
and
word.
that I don't even want to set up the joke, but it was a very funny joke. We were texting each other, and he dropped a really nice joke. But hey, that's what happens. You get to hang out with us if you're a patron sometimes. Anyways, Maul
Maul.
Shadow Lord, which
Yes.
the official title is Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord. I just call it Shadow Lord, but that's the
Yeah.
full
Yeah.
title. So you just finished the episodes like 3 minutes ago.
Yeah. I haven't had time
What
to
did you think?
No, it was
So
good.
yeah, what do you?
Man, I'm kind of this is like my first impressions, I guess, right now. I mean, overall thumbs up. I mean, the whole series so far I thought has been a thumbs up. Episode 5, I heard a little bit throughout the day that there wasn't as much action in the episode, but the writing was so good that it almost didn't
Oh yeah,
matter. You know what I mean? Like the
oh
story
absolutely.
with the Empire pulling up, I just got to say I loved how Spybot said, I think impy shinies. Did you
Yeah,
catch that? Were you watching with closed
yeah.
captioning?
Oh
So
yeah, I always watch with closed captioning. Yeah,
I love how that term translated. I mean, because we heard that in the Clone Wars, like clone cadets, like if you're a newbie, you're a shiny. That's the slang, and that's what they called you. So having the impy, the imperial shinies, I guess that term being used by Spybot, I thought that was incredible. But we see how quickly the Empire comes in and just kind of takes over. I thought it was really cool to see how fast they set up shop. I mean, it's not cool for the people of Janix, but
yeah,
they're a year into being, I don't know, under rule. Is that the right way to phrase that? And
yeah, yeah. Under rule, occupied, we could
yes,
say.
yes,
And I will say when the episode started, when of course where episode 4 ended and where this one begins, and how the Star Destroyer flies in, and the imagery of a Star Destroyer just kind of hanging out over a city is very menacing, and
mm-hmm.
and like you said, it was really crazy how quickly the Empire just spreads out through the whole city,
Right.
and I was I like that too. And Spybot, he has some of the best lines of the whole series. I
I
want to
agree.
say his little, what did he say? He was like, he goes, let's see what we can,
Smile.
he goes, smile, and he goes, he goes, now let's see what you see, and like he's like looking at all the
Yeah.
stuff and sneaking around and being a spy bot, of course. But what else did you think of? And like you said, episode 5 was rather quote
Yeah.
unquote slow,
Yep.
but I didn't even feel it, and I was just kind of very intrigued by the world it's building.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was crazy how they took Captain Lawson's superior and interrogated her with an inquisitor. I mean, I don't the Grand Inquisitor is the only inquisitor that's really done interrogation before. So I guess the
Mm.
title of chapter 5 was guy, what was it? We just had it up. It had like Inquisitor's kind of in the title, but not really.
The Inquisition.
Inquisition, kind of close, not really. But
Pretty you were pretty close. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
well, and it's I don't know. I definitely didn't see it coming that Marak was going to be uh, interrogating for Lieutenant Blake. I think is the Imperial officer who kind of sets up shop
Yes.
in the police station. So it was kind of cool. We see, well, not cool, I guess. We see Lawson sit down and there's like claw marks on the table, and
Yeah,
that was
that
kind of
was,
creepy.
yeah, that was a little bit much,
Yeah,
you know, and I if you go on our website, look at the articles which I've been writing, just want to throw that out there. But
they're
anyways,
good. They're
one thing
good.
I've said is it's not a kids show. Maul
Yes.
Shadow Lord is not by any means a kids show. There are no jokes, there are no cute moments, there are no things thrown in there just for the kids. Spybot, I believe, is probably the only comedic thing we have in the entire show. Everything
Yeah.
else is very serious, very dramatic and graphic, if you may,
Yeah,
because
for
even
sure.
though it's a cartoon, they're still slicing, people up. They're still doing a lot of things, and um, to see those nail marks on the table, I was like, whoa, what happened? Like your imagination just goes, you're just trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah.
We have Craig here in the house. Spybot is funny. You would like Spybot and a little psycho. Yeah, he's
He
very
is. Yeah.
weird.
Maybe he's got a
There was
loose
that.
wire.
He's got a couple of loose wires. I'm going to throw this out there too with the world building and everything with Star Wars, and especially with since Disney has taken over, and the amount of droids and different, you know, designs of droids we've
Mm,
seen.
yeah.
And every one we see, it feels Star Wars. It feels quote unquote lived in. It feels like it's been there
Hmm.
the whole time. We just haven't seen it before.
Yeah.
Spybot, we've never seen this type of machine before. We've never seen this type of droid. But when you see him, you automatically know how he works. And when you see him, you automatically understand like where he's coming from and how maybe the history behind how they got to that
Mm,
design. And I will say though that Spybot's pretty great. But yeah, back to the nail marks.
yeah.
Um, yeah, did Marak torture Chief Woman with the fingernail mark? Yeah. So I think what we are led to believe, Craig, is that they drug her out or something was happening and she was like clawing at
Yeah.
the table as they were. So here's my question to you, Zach. Did she take the fall for Lawson? Because
I
there's no reason why she should have gone
right.
away.
Well, was she aware of everything he was aware? Because she didn't know about the Jedi. Because before she was being interrogated, she's like, "Well, at least we're not like harboring
Yeah, she had,
Jedi."
and
And
he looks at her like, "What did you
he's
say?"
like,
Yeah.
"Huh? Yeah,
No,
nope, totally, we're good. Nope, not at
it's like
all."
funny you would mention that. That's crazy. Who said
Yeah.
Jedi? I didn't say Jedi. You said Jedi. But
What?
yeah, I don't think she knew about any of that, and
No.
I think she took the fall for Lawson. I think
Yeah.
and which is why he gets to go of everybody. It's like no, he would have been the first to, you know, yeah. So
Yeah. Well, and I'm shocked I mean, he must have complied a little bit because Marat kind of goes straight to where the last
well, I mean, yeah, I mean, he's
scene of
not gonna,
action happened, right?
yeah,
And
yeah, he
um
wouldn't lie about that part.
which is weird because he's been the officer we've seen to kind of bend the rules a little bit. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I didn't know if he would try to stick it to the Empire a little bit more than he did. I mean, I'm sure he is in other ways, right? You know, obviously we see them on the run in the next chapter, but um I was a little shocked to see him kind of he didn't just, hand everything to him on a silver platter, but I think he complied with
Mhm.
them a little bit more than I expected him to. And that wasn't bad, but he was smart and strategic and kind of said what he needed to say to make sure he
Well,
could leave.
yeah, well, honestly, there's no reason to lie about Maul. Like, there's no reason for them to be like, "Oh, I
Right.
don't know where Maul," you know what I mean? So him telling Maroc where Maul was, where this haul took place, that
Hmm.
didn't surprise me. Him leaving out the fact that there were Jedi was like, okay, that makes sense. Like,
Right.
there's no way he's gonna
Right.
tell Maroc, like, oh, by the way, there were two Jedi that I saw. Um, so yeah, I thought that was interesting that she got literally clawed out of there. Well, it would
Yeah.
have been really great is if he would like zoomed in and like he pulls out her fingernail like out of the table. I'm just
Oh,
kidding. That would have been a little
crazy.
too
Oh,
much.
no,
but
for real though.
but
Yeah. Well,
the yeah, what you got?
well, just thinking about how, I mean, Riley sneaks in there and Two Boots kind of just says to Lieutenant Blake, "Hey, this is Captain Lawson's son." And I'm like, "Uh-oh, you probably shouldn't have said that because he could be used as bait, or if Captain Lawson's on the run and Riley gets captured or whatever. I mean, she knows or he knows that Riley is his son." And when
Mhm.
Two Boots kind of, I don't know, Two Boots wasn't doing that to be a jerk or like I don't know, he was following his
Oh, yeah,
protocol,
no.
like, you know what I mean? He was like telling him to leave and kind of walking him out, and then they walk in front of Lieutenant Blake. But I found it interesting that I don't know, that could be used later if they end up capturing him. And I don't know if Riley's mother on Coruscant is going to have to get involved to try to save him or Captain Lawson down the road.
So we did see the mother, we did see the
Yep.
wife, and we find out that they're separated. They're not divorced.
Right.
I mean, quote unquote. I mean, it could be they're divorced,
Yeah.
but they're not together.
Right.
The way
Right.
she's talking, the way she's doing her thing, it makes me think she's just another piece of the empire. I don't think she has any power per se
Right.
in the empire. I think she's just a worker,
Hmm.
and the dialogue she said was really crazy to him. She's like, "They're there to help you. They're
Right.
not gonna do anything wrong. Just comply with them, and everything's gonna be okay." She's brainwashed as well by the empire. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She's bought into the propaganda of everything. And then even and I'm giving away, jumping ahead to episode 6, there's a moment where he's like, "Why are they like why is the empire doing this?" And then it's like,
Right.
the empire isn't what you think it is, man. Like, whatever you thought, the empire is not. And I thought that
Totally.
was interesting. Just to show you, like, us as the viewer, we're like, you guys are, why would you believe the empire? But then
Yeah.
I don't want to get too political, but there's things in politics today that you're like, well, who do you believe? Why would you believe
Right.
that? And and there's lies on both sides, and it's like it's just interesting that it kind of blends over into real
Yeah.
world stuff. And not gonna lie, man, the empire going around setting up, these stations, saying, "Where are your give us your papers, give us this. Are you supposed to
Yeah.
be here?" I was like, whoever wrote this, you know, they much like Lucas did with the original trilogy, is like
Yeah.
they're kind of doing the same thing with all of this. So,
Yeah.
um, Craig says Two Boots was a fool. No, I don't think Two Boots was a fool. I think Two Boots is literally just following his protocol.
Yeah. And that's what
And
Lawson
I,
says too.
yeah, just I don't think Two Boots had any ill intent when he did what he did. I think he was like, "Oh, this
Right.
is the logical next step. The Empire's going to come in. They're going to help us. They're here to help us." And there's a great moment in the sixth episode, which I guess we'll go ahead and jump into that, where Blake says, what are you wearing? Take those off. You're not supposed
Oh,
to be wearing
yeah.
those." And it was his boots, quote unquote,
Right.
his boots. And you just see a moment of Two Boots going like, "Wait, what? Like, you got to take that little piece of my identity away
Right.
from me now?" That was a big moment for me. And I think that's going to be a big moment for Two Boots in the later episodes of him
Interesting.
going like, "Wait a minute. Now his name is
It's
No
nope.
Boots." Craig, why aren't you on here, man? You got to be on here talking to us. Craig, you have all the good jokes.
Uh, it's too
Um,
good.
but there's a moment at the end of episode 5 where Lawson comes in and he's stressed after the day because obviously he's very stressed and he's over there
Yeah.
scratching the back of his neck like, Like, oh my, like, what am I gonna do? And then he turns the corner and there's Riley, his son, doing the exact same thing, touching the back of his neck, like, what am I gonna?
Hey,
And they
Dad.
looked at each other, and then you see the Jedi are now hiding there with Riley at
Yeah,
Lawson's house. But that moment of the father and son doing the exact same thing, I thought was a great touch, showing
I didn't pick
even
up
though
on
they're
that. That's
not,
cool.
you didn't catch that? Yeah, I'm a
No,
weird person,
I love
but
it.
it's like even though they're not, like it's like a troubled relationship. He's never there
Yeah.
for his son. It's still his son, and that's still his father, and they still take after each other. And I thought that was a nice little touch.
Mm.
Um, so as like I said, not a lot action happens in episode 5, but a lot of world building and a lot of the empire just being there was a really, I don't know, I thought it was just really well done.
Yeah.
And then we get to episode 6.
Well, can we
And
pause real quick before we dive into chapter
absolutely.
6? Okay, so a
Oh yeah,
little.
chapter. Jeez, I'm sorry,
No,
man.
it's all good. It's
God.
all good. I know we keep bouncing back and forth, but a little bit more
Do it.
on Master Daki and Devin throughout episode 5.
Oh
They're kind
yeah.
of walking the streets, and Devin's like, "Man, you know, like, what are we gonna do?" And Master Daki's like, we'll do what we need to do to survive, and it's probably laying low. We gotta figure out what we need to do. Blah blah blah. And she mentions something. I'm trying to remember exactly what she said because this is still so fresh in my brain. I haven't had a chance to think about it twice, right? But and this snip was in the trailer, but Master Daki's like, what you're saying is Maul's words just with your voice. Like
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
can tell that I guess his impression on her is starting to kind of settle in a little bit, probably more than what he wants. Um, and it's tough as a Jedi being a master to a Padawan that the order you're trying to abide by doesn't exist anymore.
Hmm.
That's got to be real tough. And I'm sure that's really tough for Iko Diodaki to let go of because he mentions, like, in my long life, I've seen tyranny in many different forms and it always loses. Am I
Yeah.
remembering that right? And
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely.
he's
Yeah.
he's been around for a long time. I don't know if he's been around during the High Republic. I guess we don't know how old he is, but I'd assume he's older than the average, human life expectancy in the Star
Absolutely.
Wars
Yeah.
canon. So it's kind of cool to see him not only, have the wisdom of a Jedi master, but he's also just been around for a long time, and he's able to apply a lot of life knowledge that he's just thinks he's witnessed that not everyone in the galaxy has witnessed. Granted,
Hmm.
the Empire's only been around for about a year or so at this point, but he's instilling the practice of hope into his apprentice. Like, hey, we gotta hold out for hope that tyranny will not reign for forever. And then they end up running into stormtroopers and or TK troopers, excuse me. I think it's a little
Yeah.
little bit
Easy.
before
Easy. Yeah. Yeah.
before the stormtroopers,
Yeah.
and they do Master Daki does the Jedi mind trick. And just imagine if there was only one TK trooper around there, because they walk past the TK trooper like, hey, you've seen our identification, we're good. And the other
Yeah.
dude's like, what the heck, man? Why'd you let them
It's like, well,
go? And he's like,
what?
but they're good. It's like, huh? And then they, they kind of start chasing after them. And they really, I was kind of shocked they didn't try to run up the steps like in the subway. They instantly just kind of turn around and start throwing punches at the TK troopers and you know what I mean? And that's fine. That's okay. That was a little bit of a chase sequence that we saw, which was cool. And they end up getting away by jumping on the other side of the subway and kind of running up. And, um, they get a second to catch their breath, and they're kind of talking about what their next steps are. And Devin's like, we don't really have any contacts here. And Master Doc is like, well, we got one. And I think that's all that really matters. And
I'm about to say, and it's the only person he knows. I mean, like the
right,
only other person on that entire
right,
planet he knows.
right.
So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, that sequence in the subway was pretty good. And man, we see Master Daki just like wreck it. Like, I mean, just the way he uses his
Yeah.
cane to knock
Yeah.
down the troopers. I was like, good grief, dude. But then he does pay for it later because you see him kind of like go like, oof, Like
Right.
that was a little too much, because he's still not 100%. I mean, he got
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my dog is barking. Give me 2
No, it's
seconds.
all good.
Entertain people for me. Okay.
Yeah, no, and Devin was asking Master Daki like, "Hey, you okay?" And he's like, "Well, I'm not I'm not dead. I'm not doing great, but I'm not dead." So, they end up walking around, and it's just kind of interesting to see. But at the end of chapter 5, we see Marak head to um the last location where Maul was squaring off against Devin and Master Daki, and it was really really cool to see him walk around and just kind of feel the lightsaber burns on the floor and on the side of the wall, and you can hear the lightsabers just kind of whooshing in the background, and that was super super exciting to see him walk around and feel the burn marks on the wall, and he's got the ash on his glove, and I thought that was super cool. You don't see that a whole lot, so he knew that there were people facing off around here. They came to find Maul, but I think that was the moment that the Inquisitor realized that Jedi were on Janix outside of Maul because of,
Yeah.
like, he's not, who else would he be fighting with a lightsaber? I mean, granted, he could split his lightsaber in two, and I don't know, you could probably make up some story in your mind that could work, but I think the Inquisitor just kind of knows that, okay, there's more to this than meets the eye, um, and I think after he realizes there's more than just Maul there, then it cuts to Captain Lawson getting home, and then his interaction with his son and Master Daki and
Mhm.
Devin in their living room, and then I think that's where that ends. I'm trying to think what else
Which was
happened. Oh, go ahead, man.
So do you think Marok, like Craig is over here asking how did Marok know to go there? How did he know they're at Lawson's place? Do you think he was like just like looking around and
Mm.
just figuring out like, okay, I'm gonna follow the Jedi. You know what I mean? Like, or
Right.
were they spying on Lawson? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's ever
Mm.
really fully kind of talked
Yeah.
about. How did he know they were gonna be there? But I will say him touching the wall, hearing the lightsaber fight
Oh, it was so
happening was
cool.
a really cool
Yeah.
touch. I was like, oh, okay, he can. I mean, we've seen that kind of with Ray. You know how Ray's able to touch
With
an
the
object and able to see
psychometry.
what's going on. Hmm.
Yeah.
And what word did you just say? That was a crazy word you just
Psychometry.
said right
Yeah.
now.
It's so
That's
actually, I'm glad this book's here, but in this book, this Dark Disciple book, Quinlan Voss has the
oh,
same
okay.
ability, and he can touch artifacts and kind of
Mhm.
get a little bit of the history through the Force or whatever. And I think
Uh,
Cal Kestis can do the same. But anyway, as you were saying,
well,
uh,
no, it was I was just yeah. I you said that word, and I was like, did you just make up a word
yeah,
right
it's
now? I was
my
just
word of
joking,
the day toilet paper
but
that
word of
actually
the
came
day,
in clutch.
yeah. Jeez, but episode 6 starts, and we get some really good dialogue between Daki and Lawson, and then of course Riley
Mhm.
and Devin. And it's funny with Riley and Devin because it's like they're both about the same age,
Yeah,
but they have nothing in common. Like their
yeah,
lives, how they were raised. He's like, "Oh, you never
mm,
played this sport?" And she's like, "Our childhoods were just a little different." And he's like, "Oh yeah," and it's just like
yeah,
awkward. You know, he's like, "Oh, you're right. I have no idea what you've been through in your life." Um, and then
yeah,
one thing Docky says to Lawson, which I loved, was that he doesn't call it Order 66. You know, like we call it Order 66. The
right,
galaxy calls it or Order. He says it was the Jedi Purge. That's what he
yeah,
refers to that moment, the purge of the Jedi. And I was like, that's interesting. That says a lot about him and how he views the galaxy and what the events that took place.
hmm,
Um, and then so it was a cool cut, if you may, of the blade coming into Lawson's apartment. Did you
yeah.
think it was Marak or did you think it was Maul when
At
you saw
first,
that?
I honestly thought it was Maul because Maul, we kind of get. I believe we had seen Maul talking to Rook about going to find
Yeah.
Devin.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we didn't even mention Maul at all that entire we
Um,
just talked
well,
about Lawson.
he
But
had a
yeah,
couple of tiny
the
scenes in that
episode
chapter 5, right?
yeah, chapter 5. Yeah, chapter 5 he's hardly in it. Chapter 6 we actually get a cold open with him. Oh, that's another thing. Chapter 5 there's no cold open. It just starts.
Yeah.
There's nothing. The title sequence comes up, and then the show starts. With chapter 6, we do get a moment of Maul. Um, is that the moment he's practicing with his lightsaber? Because we kind of see him getting
Man,
his
I'm trying
leg
to
fixed in
remember
the previous. It's
because
all blending together, but
we just went one into the next, and that was like
yeah.
a half an hour ago. But
But
uh,
I think in I'm sorry, in chapter 5, he's getting his leg repaired. And then when we get
mm.
to chapter 6, sorry, there's a fly in my, that's crazy.
Oh,
And then
when
we
you
get to
bring up
chapter
his
6.
his leg getting
Yeah.
repaired, like he
Yeah.
kind of jerked. Like, should he
Like he
not feel
feels it.
that? Yeah, I was talking
Yeah.
to my wife. I'm like, how could he feel that? I mean, I get there's probably I don't know, like electrical connections that like connect to your nervous system, but I don't know. I wouldn't. I thought that was interesting, but yeah, he
Yeah.
gets his knee
There's,
fixed.
I think there's something more going on with those legs than what we led to believe, because I thought the same thing when he when he has a knee jerk reaction. I'm just joking, but no, when he has that reaction, I was like, yeah, there's something. I think there's more going on with the there's like some mystical stuff happening in
Yeah.
the mechanics of that, and I think the Night Sisters, of
Hmm.
course, had something to do with that. But during that moment of Maul at the beginning of chapter 6, he's is practicing his lightsaber because he's trying to test out if his leg still has what it takes.
Yeah.
And he does a pose when he turns on his lightsaber,
Ooh.
and it's the iconic Maul pose, which is, if you're watching us on YouTube, he puts the blade out, he turns it on, and he brings his right hand back ready for, to attack.
Hmm.
And it's a very iconic pose, and it was on a lot of posters back in the day before your time,
It's
Zach.
on
There
my
was a
Clone
lot of
Wars
Darth Maul
poster that I'm
posters.
looking at too. Ironically, it's the same pose, but he's
Yep.
balling his hand into a fist, but it's
Oh yeah,
the same like stance, which is kind of cool.
yeah. That stance was was iconic, because it was crazy that you see two blades light up at once, and it was on
Yeah.
posters. It was on a lot of books. They had that pose of Maul doing that, and I think it's I hope. Okay, good. Anyways, I heard something. I'm like, I really hope my wife just got home and
No,
not
it's all
someone
good.
walking in my apartment.
But yeah,
Okay, what do we got here? And so yeah, him doing that pose and him doing the practicing with the lightsaber. One thing that caught
yeah.
my eye and my attention was just how great the animation has gotten
Oh
over the
yeah,
years with the lightsaber
yeah,
blades. Because I'm not gonna lie, there's a few times in Clone Wars and in Rebels when they're spinning those lightsabers, and I'm just like, that
yeah.
looks
Like can't
bad.
keep
Like
up.
it's yeah, it's like
Yeah,
bending, and I'm like,
yeah.
this looks real. And I think even in Rebels, whenever the Inquisitor in the first season, when he turned on his blade,
The
the
frame rate like
blur of
drops.
that, yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, but now seeing this one, I was like, that they've gotten it much, much better. It looks really, really good.
yeah. I
So
agree. And
yeah,
kind of Craig on Facebook mentioned, and he did the butterfly kick he did against Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, which is super true. I was talking with my wife when we were watching. I'm like, man, that just looks like Ray Park. Yet, like all the movement that he was
yes,
doing. I mean, how often have we seen Jedi or Sith or lightsaber wielders in general toss their lightsaber up and do whatever and catch it, like facing a different direction? And we don't see that a whole lot, and it was kind of cool to see that happen. And I don't know. I'm excited for behind the scenes stuff to come out about this show, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was motion captured in some way, shape, or form, because they dressed up Ray Park and I believe Emily Swallow, who was who did she play in The Mandalorian? The armorer, and they
yep,
were the motion capture for Ahsoka and Darth Maul during the Siege of Mandalore duel between the two of them
yes.
in the throne room. I wouldn't be surprised if they had extra footage from that, or like just Ray Park stunts that they could have incorporated into that. Not saying they did or didn't. I don't know. They could have animated it. There's more than one way you
I'm
can do it, but
I'm pretty sure they had reference videos of Ray Park,
yeah,
and
that
maybe
too,
like you said,
100%.
maybe during the that episode of Clone Wars when he did the mocap, maybe he did a lot of just
Yeah,
movements that they were able to grab and
yeah,
capture, that they're able to then say, okay, we can use these movements,
right.
later on. Because not gonna lie, Ray Park, he's in good shape, but he's a lot. He's not young, he's not episode one. old
Yep.
anymore, you know?
Right. Right.
So he can still move really well. If you ever see him at conventions, he can still move. So I'm pretty sure they were like, let's get as much as we can in case we
Yeah.
can't do this cool thing anymore. But that was really great. And like you said, watching Maul move, you can see Ray Park's like stances. You can see
Yeah.
how Ray
Totally.
Park would have done it. And I think that's such a great um I would say like tribute to what Ray Park did for Darth
Hmm.
Maul because we had never seen a Jedi or Sith for that, or definitely not a Sith move like that back in the day, you know,
Right.
until episode 1. So that was a big deal when that happened.
Yeah.
Um, but uh, but then we get to and then we get to the moment in the apartment, and I was blown away by that sequence because Marat
Yeah.
comes in, it's close quarters. We
Ding
have a
dong.
lightsaber fight. Yeah, pretty much like, "Hey, housekeeping." And he comes in, lightsaber on, ready to go, and him and Daki get into a fight, and then
Yeah.
Devin comes in to help,
Yeah.
and I was like, "This is great. This is so good." Like, it was like, "This is really great. This is a great duel," and then we go up to the roof, and we see, you know, how Daki and Devin work together and how well she is, you know, how
Mm.
quickly she
Hmm.
can move, and then you see her in the ship piloting the ship away, and even that was like a really good sequence, a chase sequence, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh." And then it hit me, okay, episode 5 had to build up to this moment. Like
Right.
chapter
Right.
5 had to walk so chapter 6 could just run. And I was like, this is really good. And the pacing of chapter 6 was great.
Hmm.
Um that moment where she like dives and then you see Lawson lift up in his seat,
Yeah.
I was like, that's a good touch.
It's
You
like,
don't see
talk to
that.
me, Goose. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see that in Star Wars, but that was a really
No.
good moment. Um, and then I don't know. I'm just my mind's racing with how
Yeah.
like just how pretty cool that was. And then
Yeah.
we get a moment of rest with um Lawson's connect underground informant, and that I thought that was pretty good. We find out a little bit about Lawson's past, and we
Yeah.
find out about his informant's past. Which, by the way, I looked it up, and the voice of that bounty hunter, I forgot what her name was. What's her name? The
Me
one, the
too.
club,
Guy, I
the
can't
club
remember.
owner. All right,
Sorry, guys. Oh,
I'm gonna be
maybe
that
someone in
guy
the
here.
chat knows.
They're gonna be like, "You guys are stupid. How did you not
She
know
she
who
reminded
that?"
me of like the same species of Kit Fisto, but like shorter uh tendrils, braids. I don't know. I'm kind of just my brain's just kind of dumping this out, but I mean, obviously I think she was purple, right? Am I not?
Yeah,
Okay. I'm a little color challenged sometimes. So obviously Kit Fisto's green, but we see different colored Twi'leks. So I wonder if she's the same species as Kit Fisto because the rings that she had in her like her tendrils, or I don't know, they're called like liku for uh
yeah.
other species, but that reminded me a lot of Kit Fisto. I don't know if they were shorter or I don't know. I guess I'll have to do some more research and see if that's the case.
Yeah,
But
do some research, man. You can't just be throwing stuff out like that. No, I'm just joking. One thing I was gonna say, her name is Rena, Rena Soul. That's the character. It's voiced by Pamela Adlon. Her daughter is Gideon Adlon, who's voicing Devin.
that's
So
cool. Wow.
I thought that was really cool. And then the oh my gosh, her name. And Pamela Adlon is also the voice of Bobby Hill in King of the Hill. So
Oh,
I
that's
think that's
really
just a
cool.
great
Yeah.
that's a great so
Yeah.
yeah, her daughter is Devin, playing the
Hmm.
character of Devin, which I thought was really good. Soul, yeah,
Yeah.
Marina Soul is her name. Thank you very much, Mary. Where were you like 2 seconds ago? We were freaking out over here trying to find the name.
I think she just wanted
Um
to watch us squirm.
yeah, she was like, you guys are so stupid. Um and we get a really great just nonstop action sequence after
Yeah.
that because the Empire shows up to her club. You need to get out of here. You need to escape, go run. And then, well, I love what Docky tells Lawson, which is he's like, where's my son? And he, you know, he told Devin to go with, you know,
Right.
Riley. And he says, Devin's watching him. Nothing's going to happen to your son. And he goes, you know, what does he say? He was like, are
You
you
have
sure?
my
And he's like,
word.
yeah, you have my, which I thought was bomb for him to say, like, "Hey, just
Yeah.
so you know, my apprentice is watching your son. Nothing
Yeah.
is happening to your son." I was like, "That's that's a good master apprentice relationship that they have." Um, and then what else? Like, so much happened. We're on a train out of nowhere. Did you see Maul when they passed by that
I
moment?
did. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's like a fraction of a second you see him
well, yeah,
standing
because
there.
we were watching. I'm like, oh, like, and my wife's like, what? And I'm like, you didn't see Maul? And she's like, no. And so I rewound like 10 seconds or whatever and paused at a perfect frame, like where you just see the opening of his silhouette. She's like, how do
Yeah,
you see that? And I'm like, I mean, they intend for you to see it, but you got to work for it a little bit, you know? So I
yeah,
guess, which was kind of cool. And we know he knows where to go because Spybot finds Devin and,
Riley.
Riley running around and goes,
Yeah,
"Ooh, smile," and
yeah, he
kind
goes,
of
"Oh,
like
smile."
zooms in, and he's like, because he's been reporting to Rook over the 2 episodes, like, "Hey, there's impies in Sector 27 or whatever," and yada
Yeah,
yada yada. So he's kind of their guy in the chair, right? So he's feeding intel
that's a
to
good way
both
to
of them. So,
well, okay, I'm gonna throw this out there. So,
okay,
in Star Wars, there's always, um, a very convenient port for the droids. For BB
uh,
units, the port is very low to the ground, and a BB unit can roll up and he could do this and thing. And R2 unit, also the port is a little higher up, and you could
yeah,
go in and do that. And then in well, I guess in um what was the droid on Battlefront 2? The one that like rolls around, like walks around and then sticks its like
your
anyways,
Battlefront 2 or my Battlefront 2?
Battle the new one that came out, Battlefront 2,
Okay.
the droid that she has, he runs up and she's like, "Splice it," and he has his little thing, he goes over and
Oh,
does it. Same with
yeah,
what was it?
on her back. It's like a
Yeah,
small version of a probe droid,
yep,
kind of.
and then BD1, or is that BD81, then BD1? I know BD1 in, Fallen
Maybe he was the
Order,
slice it
he
droid.
also has one as well that he goes up with his
Yeah,
leg and does it. All I'm saying is there's
yeah,
always a port for any type of droid. So for Spybot, his it's like this giant circular thing that he just hooks onto, and that's how he's sending the
yeah,
signal out. And I'm like, who put that? Like, who put that there for a Spybot of all, of all droids? You're like, we're gonna put a port here for
yeah.
a spy type droid to be able to use wherever.
I wish they
That
made it
always makes me
consistent
laugh.
though. Like, think about, like, I don't know, we've all got all kinds of USB ports like in our house. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
you'd think that'd be like R2D2's like adapter or whatever you want to call it would be like the
Mhm.
USB port of Star Wars. Like K2SO has the same thing that comes out of his wrist. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
true.
They made it the same between astromech droids and K2SO. I forget what kind of droid he is. I mean, he's a big
What
boy.
is it?
But I get
He's a K2? Yeah, yeah.
K2 unit, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's a K2 unit, which
I
which
always
I'm still
called him.
sad we cannot build at Galaxy's Edge. Just wanna
Oh,
throw that
you
out
could
there.
get the Lego set. I don't. That's not gonna move, but it's something to build. But I always called him potassium sulfate because that's like the chemical nomenclature for K2SO, and chemistry is
Alright, dude.
potassium.
I'm not
Anyway,
gonna lie, man. That's the nerdiest thing you've
well,
ever said. And we have a Star Wars podcast. I just wanna throw that out there.
I
That was
remember
that was
rewatching that with
crazy.
my roommates in college, and I was taking organic chemistry at the time, and we had the closed captioning on. It was K2SO. I'm like, hey, that's potassium sulfate, and my roommates were like, shut up, let's just watch the movie. But anyway,
Hold
yeah.
on. You just said a sentence and just flew right by it. And I know Mary kind of cringed when you said it too. You said you watched Rogue One when you were in college.
I rewatched it in college. The first time I saw it, I was in high school. That's a whole different
Oh
story.
God, that's even worse. Okay,
Yeah,
never
because
mind.
I
Anyways,
convinced my
jeez.
shout out to my buddy Luke. I had an extra ticket for Rogue One. My dad was gonna go with me, but him and my mom had to go do something. I'm like, hey dude, you want to come with me? He's like, I got a Christmas band concert. And I'm like, let's just go. He's like, all right, screw it. He turned his phone off and we went, and he skipped his Christmas band concert. We went to the same high school and we were just sitting and watching Rogue One, and we were like high off our own farts when we walked out of the theater from like the end hallway scene. And turns his phone back on, and everyone's like flipping out about, hey, where are you, we need you, blah blah blah. And I mean, he was like one
Well,
of like 6 trumpets or whatever in the band, so it was fine. But dude just
yeah, let's
totally
say.
played hooky to go see Rogue One with me. Anyway,
If,
yeah, back to Deadpool.
thanks. Back to Deadpool. And thanks, Mary. I'm very old, says you, who's also old. Don't she's gonna get mad at me for saying that. But back to Deadpool. A2.
We were talking about
We're talking
droids
about
and ports
droids,
and
Spybot,
Spybot and Maul
ports, and
showing up in
Spybot.
the
Yeah, that we
train and
yeah.
stuff.
And so that fight between I at first thought Devin was able to hold her own pretty well as a
Yes.
duelist, as a like,
Yes.
but fighting against Marak, she didn't do that well.
Yeah.
She did get thrown around quite a bit, and I was taken aback because we had seen her already against stormtroopers and how well she was able to
Hmm.
flip around,
Yeah.
slice them in half and everything. But then when she fought Marak or Marok, how what do we get to agree on, Marak or
I've
Marok?
said
What do we?
Marak, but I think that's how they say it in
So we're
Ahsoka.
gonna say Marak. We're
But
gonna say Marak.
I don't know if that's like his name post Empire or whatever, because like he's not working for the Empire come Ahsoka. Maybe they
Yeah,
kind of
he's
gave
with
him a
the Night
name, or
Sisters.
because
Yeah,
he's the insert number whatever brother. Sorry, I should know this, but
yeah, you
like
should.
because there's only like 20 of them, but he yeah. Anyway, I'd say Marak. That's just me personally, but
All right, we're gonna go with Marak.
all right,
But yeah, Devin versus Marak wasn't that. I was like, oh, wait, she's not doing that well. And then Maul
yeah,
shows up, and between the two of them, they're able to hold their own. But Marak is still he's a
yeah,
pretty good opponent. Like he was holding his own against Maul,
yep,
and I think I'm gonna blame it on Maul's leg. I think I'm gonna blame it. Maul's leg is still not 100%, so he's still maybe struggling to get
he's
that.
gimping a little bit.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
and the imagery of that train lightsaber fight, the lights
Oh,
flying by them,
so
I was
good,
like, this is so cool, man. Like this is
so
real.
good.
And again, like I was like, this is not a kid's show at all. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, it looks cool. Kids will enjoy it, but they're not gonna
yeah.
understand like how kind of dark this is.
When the
Um,
detail and like, did you notice when the gunships were shooting at Master Daki and at Marak, like they blocked the laser bolts with their lightsaber, and
yes.
they like I don't know, they kind of got pushed back a little bit. Like it
Yeah.
was a much stronger blast, and I thought that was so cool. I'm like, man, we don't see that a whole lot, and it's
Yeah. Yeah, can you imagine Luke taking on an AT-AT with a lightsaber? Like that would be
right.
ridiculous. You know
You
what I
could
mean?
block, but that's like it.
You can block, but that's it. That's the last thing you're
Yeah.
gonna do. Like
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
and if
probably
they
gonna
go
break
pew
both
pew,
your
you're
hands.
toast because there were intentional pauses between the shots. But
Exactly. But yeah, seeing them fight on the train, I thought was really,
yeah.
really great. And which brings us, I know we're kind of skipping around and just flying through this thing. Who is he talking to
Oh,
at the
dude.
very end, it's a
Yeah.
cliffhanger,
Yeah.
and he kneels, the hologram comes up,
Yeah.
and he says there are Jedi here, and then it
Yeah.
cuts to black. Who is it? Vader? It seems like
Dude,
it's an
it's got to
obvious,
be. It's got to
but we
be
didn't hear the
cuz
breathing.
that's true, but maybe they were on mute, kind of like how we can go on mute right now with each other. I thought the same thing. I really did. I'm like, hey, give me something. Like, I don't need to see who it is. I just need to hear the breathing. Like, the
Yeah.
Inquisitors are they're like too far beneath Palpatine. Like, he's got bigger fish to fry. He's dealing with Project Necromancer right now and trying to
Mhm.
get the ground running with that. And it's got to be Vader. It has to be, because at the end of, like, it's one of the episodes in Tales of the Empire when Barriss kind of wins the duel with her former uh Padawan friend, and like she gets her helmet and her name or whatever. Vader walks in and they all kneel, and Marak is in that room. Like, they all kind of I don't know. I don't think they'd kneel. Sure, they'd kneel to the Emperor, but I don't think they really talked to the Emperor because Vader was tasked with running the Inquisitorius. So it has to be. It I don't know. Like, do you think it could be anybody else?
The only other person, I mean, because does he kneel when he's talking to the hologram at the end of chapter 6, or does he just
Does
stand there and
Marak
say,
kneel?
"Yeah"? Does Marak
Yeah,
kneel?
yeah, he does.
Okay, because the only thing I would have said was, what if it was the Grand Inquisitor,
Yeah,
and he's asking for help from him, but it's like, but I don't think he would kneel to him unless Vader like has his hierarchy going down the
sure.
list of, hey, the Grand Inquisitor is of course called the Grand Inquisitor, and then you guys are all following suit. So
I don't think they'd
and
call him my lord, though. That's the only
yeah,
thing that would make me think it's not the Grand Inquisitor. But
it
yeah,
but you're right. That's what makes me think it's not Vader, because it's so obvious that it is Vader,
right,
that it's like, man, what if it's somebody just we're not even, expecting,
right,
So I
right.
don't know. And
Star
I
Killer. I'm
could
just
you
kidding.
imagine they
That'd
bring
be
him back
insane. There's no
and
way
it's voiced by Sam Witwer
the Darth Maul and what I don't know, the Spider-Man meme with like Maul pointing at
pointing
Star
everywhere,
Killer.
yeah. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna say it's Vader, but there's this really weird like thing in the back of my brain saying it's not Vader.
Yeah,
It's somebody completely different. And what's funny is at the very end of Solo, when we saw Maul, we were like, "No way, it's Maul!" Like that was
yeah,
a crazy reveal. So it's like, did
yeah.
they do something similar? Like it's General
Mm.
Grievous or something. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like it's something. It's somebody.
But I
It's
think Vader's gonna show up at some point. I don't
he
know if
has
it'll be
to.
season 1. That could very much be like climax of the show. Period. Is Vader showing
Uh,
up to fight Maul? Like uh,
well,
I don't know. We
well,
talked about it a little last week too, because it just Vader and Maul have a history. They know of each other. It seems like Maul knows he can't fight Vader alone. There's got to be some sort of encounter that happens, but I don't know if they want to throw the kitchen sink at the season 1 finale with something that big if they're talking about a season 2. Like how do you top that if that's this season, you know?
yeah, you're right. Because once Vader shows up and once Vader fights Maul, and we're all expecting Vader to absolutely destroy Maul,
And
because
everything.
yeah, and yeah,
Yeah.
he totally just brings Maul down to
His
nothing,
good
and then
knee.
Maul,
Yeah.
yeah, he takes it down. And then after that, Maul is no longer obsessed with the crime syndicates. He's obsessed with finding Kenobi, and then
Right.
maybe Vader is like maybe Vader puts that in his brain, like says,
Hmm.
"Hey, all your trouble started with a Jedi." Like
Hmm.
maybe Vader tries to recruit Maul to help him
Right.
hunt down the Jedi, and then
Hmm.
Maul's craze. He goes, "Well, no, it was one Jedi. It was Kenobi who did all this." And
Yeah.
you're right. There is a season 2, so it's like I think
Well,
we may get a cliffhanger season 1. Like we get
yeah, I could
Vader
see that.
coming out, like you said, and then
Yeah.
that's like where season 1 ends with Vader and Maul
Mm. Well, and a lot of these
showdown.
episodes have ended with cliffhangers too, but like thinking about Maul at the events of Solo, we see he gets success with rebuilding his syndicates, or
Yeah,
like I guess he gains like rapport with the other syndicate leaders, and after his encounter with Vader, I would imagine that all kind of goes away. So we
yeah.
got to see him have more success and have more time go by before that topples down. I don't know. Maybe there's a way you can kind of work around that. Maybe I'm taking it too much at face value.
No, this is fun. This,
But
I
yeah.
think well, here's what I hope. I hope we get a battle something. I hope we get something Vader in
Yep.
season 1.
Yep.
Season 2, maybe Maul defeats Vader at the end of season 1.
Mm.
We're just spitballing here.
Sure, sure.
And then we get to season 2, Maul is now with Crimson Dawn. Maul is now,
Mm.
the head of everything. And at the end of
Right.
season 2, Vader shows back up and just
Mm.
absolutely destroys him and takes
Right.
everything away from him. And that's
Right.
where season 2 ends. And then we go,
Mm.
oh, now we know he has to
Yeah.
go find it.
Well, in the clip with Marak, I would have pegged that to be the last episode cliffhanger. Like
You know what? you say that, and that makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's where you would end it, and you go, "Who was he talking to?" And then you get to season
right,
2, and it's Vader, and that makes,
right.
like I said, it makes me think maybe it's not Vader because it feels like
True,
we
it
have
could
4
be.
more episodes left, right?
Yeah,
We got to build to something here. So
I mean, it could be, Thunder Thighs Tarkin, the man himself. Have you seen those memes? Like when
no,
like the Imperial officer pants are like, they're way tucked into the boots and their boots go up to their dadgum knees and they're freaking, I don't know, their pants are a little loose and they look like they got just massive quads and like thunder
well, I
thighs.
mean
But
that's World War II style,
right,
pants. You
100%. All
know,
the Imperial officers have that,
yeah,
but yeah,
that's
dude, I
pretty
just
funny.
yeah,
So
thunder thighs Tarkin. But
Thunder
anyway,
Thighs Tarkin, here he comes, him and his loafers. Um, where do you rank these 2
mm,
episodes with what we've
mm.
seen so far?
So okay, are we ranking them like in pairs or are we ranking them like
I think we have to
individually?
I think we have to rank them in pairs because
Okay, because they paired so well together.
yes,
It just went one right into the other. I mean, they all have, but like this, like you could pull the credits and make it one continuous shot almost,
yeah.
going from the end of chapter 5 to the beginning of chapter 6. But
Even going from the ending of 4 through like just
for
cutting out
sure,
the
for
credits from
sure,
chapter 4 and just going
yeah,
chapter 4, 5, and 6 are
guy.
one full story.
Oh, you're so mean. This is tough, dude. Because
You're
I'm
welcome.
trying to. I think I liked chapters 3 and 4 the most, but
Mhm.
they've all had such great high points, and they're all different, right?
Yeah.
Because chapters 1 and 2, the high point of that is like learning a lot of the backstory, understanding where we're at, understanding what Maul's goals are. Like, there's a little bit of action. He's still, cutting down pikes and breaking into the prison. Like, there's all these cool sequences that happen. There's the bank heist. Like, that's a high for sure. In episodes 3 and 4, there's all kinds of lightsaber action between Maul and Devin, and Maul and Devin and Daki, and just the dialogue between Maul and Devin. I don't know. Like, the action definitely takes a cake for a lot of people. And then these 2 episodes paired well. The writing was great. The storytelling was great. The setup was great for the action sequence. Like, I'm kind of spitballing, but I'd probably rank the pairings. Uh, my number one pairing so far of the 3 we've gotten would be chapters 3 and 4, then 5 and 6, then 1 and 2. But it's all like they're all right there.
Yeah.
What
Yeah, the
what about you?
I don't know. I just want to see what you would say. I don't have an
Oh,
answer. So
dang
I'm
it.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I think 5 and 6 are my favorites.
Yeah,
I would say 4, 5, and 6. That this
sure.
what's going on.
Sure.
Once the Empire showed up, it was like,
Yep.
oh, then this is getting going here. But 6 especially because of all of just how well it was done, the pacing of it,
Mm.
the animation, the story, and the cliffhanger, of course, was really nice. And yeah, this was one of those where it ended, and I was like, I cannot believe I have to wait a full week for this. I mean,
Yeah.
I am dying
Yeah.
to see what's going to happen next. And I read an article. I think this was the most streamed show of last week. Like this is becoming the
Wow.
overall.
Because there's some
Netflix, HBO.
big boys dropping
Um,
right now
yeah, The Pit
in
is
the
on right
streaming
now
world.
on HBO Max, which is a big show, a great show by the way. But Maul Shadow Lord is the most watched show right now,
Shut the front door,
and
dude. That's
yeah, and
wild.
it's the ratings on it. Again, ratings are always interesting. Like during the show, like when it's running, people are like, "Oh my gosh,
Right.
it's being compared to Andor," and I was like, "Well, I think we should let it." All of it come out, then we can compare it to Andor. But
Sure.
the Rotten Tomatoes score, if you may, is a little bit higher than what Andor was.
Is it
So
still at 100%?
I believe it's like 98 or something, like 98 or
Okay.
97. But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
really high up there. But for me, I'm like I said, I want to see how the rest of the show goes before we start to say, oh yeah, it's
Totally.
better than Andor.
Totally.
But
Hmm.
the world building of the Empire from what we've seen in episodes 4, 5, and 6, Star
Hmm.
Wars, the episodic films, and then to get here, the Empire just feels so different. The Empire feels so
Mm-hmm.
menacing. And
Yeah.
it's something that I never thought was gonna happen, but, like, when the Empire shows up, you just go, like, you get scared. Whereas back in the day, we're like, "Yeah, the Empire, it's
Yeah.
fun."
Stormtroopers hitting their heads on stuff.
Sort
And
yeah, and plus
yeah.
back then, we're just worried about Han, Luke, and Leia, and Vader, and all of that. Like, we're just worried
Right.
about that.
Right.
And then to see the Empire as this just menacing, terror, and
Hmm.
also thanks to Andor and Rebels, it's like, man, it's interesting how they're building the Empire,
Yeah.
based off of what we've already seen from the
Right.
past almost 50 years. And
Hmm.
I don't know. I think it's great. I think this is a good show. I think this is a good win for Disney Plus, and
Oh, totally.
it's they're killing it, and it's great. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree, man. And there's so much more to come that like just I don't know, when I get really excited for a show, I think I watch the or a movie. I think I watch the trailers too much to where I know what hasn't been shown from the trailers yet. And I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, like it's a double-edged sword. Like you watch a trailer and like, okay, this is cool. And then you wait for it to come out, or you get way too excited and you're like, okay, this is all I got. And you watch this all the time, all the time, all the time. And you pick up on all the little nuances. And like when they jumped on the roof, like, I mean, I keep bringing up, watching this with my wife, but I'm like, oh, this is the part where the gunship flies up and Devin's swinging her lightsaber. And she's like, how'd you know that? And I'm like, it's in the trailer. Like, don't worry about it. And like, they show you, they give you enough rope to be excited, right? But
Hmm.
you don't want to. I mean, you're looking at the same chunk of rope for months before before it shows up. But
That's an interesting way to put it, but I got you. I got you.
yeah,
It's
yeah, I don't know.
understandable.
I'm a detail-oriented person, but, like, I know, like, the sequence with Maul throwing his one, we saw him throw his lightsaber on the train, and it just sounded cool, it looked cool, like, I love when Force wielders throw their lightsabers, it doesn't happen a whole lot, and we see him throwing his lightsaber in the trailer, and it's, like, cutting through the waists of TK troopers and, like, cutting a ATST in half, like, right up the middle, and all this cool stuff is yet to come, and, um I'm excited to see what happens. I'd really want to see Maul, Daki, and Devin all be together again, and I hope we see more conflict in Devin because she was ready to throw hands with Maul at the end of chapter 6, and he
Yeah.
just turns his lightsaber off and kind of turns his shoulder to her and kind of walks away, and she's like, "Oh, okay," and turns, but
Yeah.
um yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens. But do you have a prediction on what we are to see in the next 2 episodes here, James?
Oh man, I have no idea what we're gonna see. I know I'm actually shocked that Docky is still alive,
Me too.
and which makes me realize when he does, because inevitably he will be killed somehow, and it just feels like that's the
I agree.
natural progression.
I
It's gonna
agree.
be devastating, and the fact that he hasn't died yet is what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be absolutely devastating when he dies,
He's
and
so likable. Is it just
yeah,
me or is like he
no, he's
incredibly
great.
likable?
I'm
Oh,
and here's my prediction. Devin's gonna be the one that does it. Like somehow Devin
ooh. I
Devin
don't
kills
think
him.
I don't think I'll buy into Devin killing him, but I think him being gone will be the biggest
I think that'd be
I
the
don't know that
catalyst for her to
yeah.
join Maul. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, I got you. I
I
got you.
agree. I guess I can't quite predict how that could happen. I mean, maybe he gets kicked in the stomach again and just croaks on the spot, but
Correct.
um
Yeah.
sorry. I don't know. I mean, he mentioned that he just wasn't doing super great. Like, Master, are you okay? And he's like, well, I'm not dead yet, and but I'm
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right.
So when he said that line, I was like, all right, this is the episode he's gonna die,
Yeah, and there
obviously.
were
And then
multiple chances where like Devin's climbing onto the roof and Docky's fighting him in the apartment. I'm like, oh, he's a goner. He's
yeah.
toast. I said it out loud, and he climbs up, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna die on the roof, and they're gonna get away in the gunship. He gets in the gunship, and then they
Yeah,
get to the
exactly.
casino, and then Riley and Devin go down the little secret elevator. I'm like, oh, he's gonna die, and
He's gonna die up
like,
here, and he
and he
goes down
keep
the secret elevator.
yeah, 100%. Him and Lawson are fighting, and like, oh, my Padawan she's well trained. She'll protect your son, and he's like, oh, am I like, you have my word? And he's like, is that supposed to make me feel better? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, well, it's not. And they're just kind of fighting for their lives right there, which is kind of fun. But I want to see more of him too. You know what I mean? I like seeing more of Docky, and I think it's good writing and good storytelling that like I'm thinking he's going to die here. I'm thinking he's going to die here, but they keep pulling him along,
Yeah.
and I hope there's use or it's sorry, forgive me here. I hope what they're doing with him is intentional for
Oh
something,
yeah.
more grandiose, and I think it will be the case. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think Devin. Okay, well, last week we talked about Mary thinks that Devin's gonna die, and you and I
Oh
don't
yeah.
think Devin will die this season.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm still of that thought. I don't
Me
think
too.
Devin will die this season. I think there's too much potential with her that for them to kill her off in season
Yeah.
one.
Absolutely. I
So
agree. I think Mary is just is wrong on this prediction. I just want to throw that she is wrong
I
on this one,
agree.
and then
She put something.
we
Oh,
can
go ahead.
argue
Sorry, man.
later
She put
about
something
that.
in here. It was like your Maroc theories suck, and it was like Dave Filoni here on screeners or comment. Your Maroc theories
Yeah.
suck, Dave Filoni, and it's like I want that T-shirt. One, but two, like I don't know. Could we interchange Maroc for Devin, Mary? Could we?
Question.
Maybe. Anyway,
Well, on that note, this was fun. This was fun.
this was a blast. Yeah,
Did you get your tickets for Mando and Grogu?
I did. Yeah. I actually checked how full the theater was because you can see like what seats are crossed
Yeah.
off or whatever, and it's not. It didn't have like the notification for being close to sold out because it's like prime time. Like you can get out. Like if you work a 9 to 5 over here, you can get out and have plenty of time to go see this movie in West Michigan area, and it's probably 50 to 60% full right now, maybe at most. So I was kind of bummed to see it wasn't more full. But yes, I guess I did get my tickets. How about you, James?
I did. Are you going that Thursday, or are you going to go the Friday to watch
Yes,
it?
I'm going Thursday. Was that the 21st?
Yeah.
And then yeah, it's 6 p.m. Eastern time is my showing. That is when I
Nice.
6:05 p.m. I think is when it starts on Thursday, May 21.
I got lucky, thanks to Mary. She was like, she calls me. She's like, they're still for sale at the El Capitan, and so her and I and my wife, and then her and her husband are gonna go watch. We're all gonna be seeing the movie together
Oh,
at the El
fun.
Capitan in Hollywood, and it's at 7:30. So you're actually gonna watch it before me, I
Yeah, I'm
think.
gonna be sleeping when you guys
So
start.
you cannot say anything to us.
Deal.
But here's
Deal.
the catch. I mean, here's the cool thing. It's the only showing that night. So
Oh,
Mary was
all the real
like,
ones are gonna show up.
she's like, somebody is going to be there at the showing. Like someone's
Hmm.
gonna come out at the end of the movie or at the beginning of the movie. Like Favreau, Filoni, Pedro Pascal.
Hmm.
Somebody like that has to be there at the El Capitan.
That would be so cool, man.
So, and then I got tickets for the next day at the IMAX across the street from the El Capitan, which is the Chinese theater.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see it at the IMAX, and I'm actually sitting in the same seat I sat in to watch Avatar. So I thought that was pretty
Oh,
funny.
nice.
But
Nice.
I'm excited for that one, and of course we're counting down now. We're almost a month away from that
Yeah,
one.
it's bonkers,
and,
dude.
And then from what we've heard, once May 4th hits, it's just nonstop Mando and Grogu promotion. So
Yeah. Yeah.
please don't disappoint Lucasfilm. All right.
Yes.
And this was fun. I had fun. Did you have fun?
Yeah, this was great, man. I love this, and I'm
This was
excited for
great,
next
yeah.
week too. I'm really enjoying this.
If you're listening to us on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell for our next video so you can be alerted to it. Yeah, just kidding.
Yes.
We also have an Instagram, Star Wars Stuff Pod. We post a lot of stuff, a lot of news, a lot of just stuff we like to post on there. Follow us. If you want to support us on Patreon, please do so at Star Wars Stuff Podcast 2187. We got a lot of stuff on there, and we're working on a lot of things. And Mary and David are actually going to be in Vegas this weekend, and they're going to be posting stuff there as well.
Yeah.
For the what's Level Up?
Yes. Level Up Con, I think.
Level Up Con at Las Vegas. So if you're there, look for Mary and David. Also, check us out on TikTok, Star Wars Stuff Podcast. If you want to send us an email, starstuffpodcast@gmail.com. And follow us on Facebook. We have a Facebook group and a Facebook page. The latest information, memes, we do it all. And people
Yes.
like to post their stuff on there. You know, they have toys. They like to show stuff like that on there. So that's always fun to see. Check us out at our website, starstuffpodcast.com. You can read all the reviews we're doing for Maul, as well as other reviews we've written. And if you're listening to us on podcast, Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating, please. That'd be really cool. Just saying, please. That's really cool. All right. Anyways, yeah, this was fun, and my name is James, and on behalf of Zach, we'll see you next week for another awesome topic. May the force be with you.
Always.
What?
What?